It is just a test of time and how to survive in a situation. Trust, love, and communication are the key. Absence sharpens love, and the presence strengthens it. When two people are meant for each other, no time is long and no distance is too far. Apart from inadequate communication, it's through communication that partners get to understand each other. And through understanding each other, the friendship increases in the relationship. Let us not forget that the first step of coming together and keeping together is through effective communication. So the more people communicate, the more they understand each other and keep together. Communication also keeps the relationship warm regardless of the distance. But the absence of communication makes relationship cold and boring even when there is zero distance between partners. Most marriages become cold not because of inadequate possessions, but simply because of inadequate communication. In most cases, when partners reduce the level of communication to each other, even the level of trust reduces. As you know that where there's no trust, there's no friendship. And where there's no friendship, there's no love. And where there's no love, there's no togetherness. Therefore, communication is a key factor in marriage because without it, the relationship reduces. In most marriages, women complain that their husbands do not give them time. It is not because the husband spent all the time at work, but simply because there is little communication in the marriage. Even when the husbands come back at home, they begin keeping themselves busy with computers, telephones, televisions, leaving little time for communication. Sometimes women try to begin up some conversations with their husbands so as to spend some time communicating. But some men, it is taken as a wastage of time. They tend to reply only the question is asked. For example, a wife may ask, "How was the work?" Then the man may just reply, "It was fine," without adding more details. Yet she was not only interested in that answer, but to break the silence between them. Men always like to communicate when they are doing something. They don't just tend to like just sitting around, talking face to face the way women do. So, instead of telling your husband that you want him home more and more, just try to find something he enjoys doing that you may do it together with him, and here you'll be able to have enough communication with him. Another way a wife can win the husband back home is by accepting him as he is. Trying to change someone is always hard. It's not an easy work. In most cases, women try to change their husbands by force. This reduces their relationship. It also weakens a man's self-confidence, and even he feels unworthy of her. It breeds bitterness and rejection. One of the reasons as why sometimes men become bitter towards their wives is because women always try to change their husbands by force. When you try to change your husband by force, he will tend to spend more time away from home. He will seek out the company of those who accept, perhaps at the place where is accepted, sometimes with other women, or he may disclose himself off from the television, a computer, or a phone. He will also tend to be critical towards you, or cold, or hardly speak to you. Remember, he knows his problems and he knows all his mistakes. But the more force him, the more he feels being rejected. It's also good to remember that a person does not change due to the force put against him, but by the amount of love given to him. The greatest weapon that has been approved to be efficient in transforming people into better people is through love. The only way you can win your husband to your side is through loving him more, not by forcing him to change. When you use other means to change your husband, the relationship is broken. But with love, the husband is transformed. Love makes a person to realize his mistakes, but other forces makes him to see your mistakes. According to the Bible, love is patient, kind, does not envy, does not boast, is not proud, is not rude, and does not keep wrong records. And through such elements of love, a person is transformed. Remember, with love, you have to shift the burden from those who are wrong to yourself. By doing so, you put strength in changing yourself instead of changing others. It's through that you become a better person than others, and this opens their eyes to begin seeing their mistakes instead of yours. In this case, a wife is forced to to blame herself for the mistakes of the husband, not to blame the husband for his own mistakes. This helps the husband to realize his mistakes, and it also helps him to change into a better person. Instead of directing forces to change, instead of changing him by force. So, one of the most useful lessons we can learn in love is that sometimes it requires us to blame ourselves for other people's mistakes in order to win them to our side, instead of blaming them directly. Through this, we don't only become better people than them, but we also become attractive to them. We need also to remember choice that you got your husband, and it's also by choice that you make him your best friend. You cannot just wait for your partner to do what you want in order to be your best friend. You need to begin this relationship, and you need to begin this friendship. People who know the importance of friendship in relationship value it more than any other thing. We need to know that friendship is mainly built on two things: respect and trust. And this begins with you. If you can trust and respect yourself, this means that you can also trust and respect your partner. We also need to know that we come to love by not finding a perfect person, by learning how to see imperfect person becoming perfect. Whenever we stop expecting others to be perfect, we begin loving them for whom they are. But if we want others to be perfect every time, we begin becoming bitter towards them each time they make a mistake. No one is perfect. Since bitterness imprisons life, but love releases it. So the only way to make imperfect people perfect is through loving them more in their imperfection. When you hate a person because he is imperfect, the distance between you and that person will increase. But when you love him in his imperfection, the distance between you and him will reduce. It's also true that the more an imperfect person gets to know that he is accepted by the perfect one, his imperfection reduces. The greatest weapon to fight imperfection in another person is through accepting him and loving him more regardless of his imperfection. Love conquers everything. There is no person that love cannot heal, and there is no soul that love cannot save. Remember, love is the condition in which happiness of another is more essential than our own happiness. It's always a free gift given to others. We don't love to be loved, we love to change others. Love does not consist of looking at each other or gaining from each other, but looks forward for a common goal. We also need to know that words have power to perfect or imperfect relationships with others. Positive words bring joy, happiness, peace, harmony, love, unity, and prosperity in families. Negative words bring hatred, confusion, stress, misunderstanding, misinterpretation, worries, and suspicion. Therefore, there's nothing that imperfects marriages like negative words, and there's nothing that perfects and restores marriages like good words. You just need to realize that your husband is not going to be everything you want him to be, and you cannot be everything he wants you to be. So the only way is by accepting his imperfections, by using restoring words but not breaking ones. Because good words builds, but negative words destroys the relationship and families. Thank you so much. May God bless you. This is Ronald Mukasa. You can get more information from my Facebook page called Ronnie Mukasa Inspirational Page, or email mukasa.ronald@yahoo.com. Thank you.